Oh hi, it's Chris Kohler with Wired.com, and we just finished up the gauntlet of E3 press conferences. Sony just finished up their E3 2008 media briefing. Chris Baker, a little light on content from Sony today.
Yeah, in fact, they really set the tone at the beginning when they said, look at how much we still had to release 2 years into the original PlayStation's life cycle, 2 years into PlayStation 2's life cycle, which is pretty much saying, you know, we may not have the goods this year, but you know we were planning long term.
We've just begun to scratch the surface of what we intend to deliver for consumers in the months and years ahead.
That is kind of like what it sounded to me, but Sony did take this opportunity to shore up their 2008 holiday lineup and remind us all that great games like Infamous are coming out for PS3 really soon.
Yeah, and they made a real tentpole out of Little Big Planet, which is a really innovative, unusual game that really relies on the game users to create their own content. And they, in a really inspired move, they use Little Big Planet's level creation tools to tell their financials, the sort of boring dog and pony show that every press conference has. They turned it into something really amusing and a really great application of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I could have watched Little Big Planet for the entire 90 minutes of the press conference myself, but they did not do it that way, and they showed some other games too. But again, very light on brand new game announcements. Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty is a new game coming to the PlayStation Network this summer. Resistance, the PS3 first-person shooter, is going to be on PSP.
There was MAG, which is probably not up our alleys, but you know the SOCOM franchise is enormously popular, and here is a not massively multiplayer but enormously multiplayer shooter, 256 players, based on that SOCOM brand. I think that's going to generate a lot of buzz.
Yeah, really interesting, the idea of doing a 256-player online shooter game where you're all sort of organized into squads of 8 men, but then there's player persistence. You can grow your character over time, which is what they were talking about. So, but again, you know, the fact they only showed a kind of very early trailer of the game means that it's one of those things that's far, far out. And this holiday season, we're really looking at things, again, like Infamous, MotorStorm 2, and Little Big Planet, of course.
Yeah, probably one of the big announcements with an immediate payoff was about their video store, which is finally in place. They have a few more partners than we'd maybe been led to believe. MGM,
Lionsgate, and of course Sony Pictures movies will be up on there. But the interesting thing about the Sony PlayStation 3 video store is that it actually launches today. And so tonight, if you turn on your PS3, you can rent movies from between $3 and $6, or you can buy them from between $10 and $15. Download them right to your PS3, and then if you want to take them on the go with you, you can plug in your PSP and copy the movie straight over to that.
So maybe we won't have the instant appeal of Microsoft's Netflix deal, where if you subscribe to Live and to Netflix, you can stream these movies for free. But again, PlayStation is doing the high-def content that Sony isn't at this point. They're really positioning themselves as kind of the cinephiles consoles between that and Blu-ray.
One announcement that Sony kind of made under the radar is that they are going with one version of the PlayStation 3 going forward starting this fall. It's not going to have the PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility that some of the current models have, but it is going to have an 80-gigabyte hard drive. So if you want a PS3 that plays all your PS2 games, go out and buy the Metal Gear Solid 4 bundle package now, because later this year that's not going to exist anymore.
And tellingly, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. Continue to talk about the PlayStation 2. Continue to support that, not dropping the price of it either. So they'll be pushing that again this Christmas, even though it's, what, 8 years old now? 9 years old?
Yeah, 8 years old now. So Sony this year is really hitting those hardcore gamers that Nintendo isn't. But at the same time, no real big innovations like Nintendo's new motion controller, no big casual games like Microsoft was showing. Just a lot more of the same.
Yeah, the message seemed to be, you know, we practice like a 10-year life cycle with our console, so just trust us. We're viable. We're in this for the long haul. You know, we might not be blowing you away this year, but just wait till next year.